I want to welcome everybody tonight. We're excited. We're also excited, at least as panelists, for sure, that we believe the pre-PETS webinars have been successful. We've had very good attendance. You're certainly going to have a chance to ask questions. I know everyone is happy because typical years we would be driving to Monticello tonight, and we have about a 2.5 hour session. So we've cut the session quite a bit and tried to get a lot of information a little bit. I will also tell you that probably first of next week you'll get an email and the full PDF of this wonderful presentation will be available. So if you take notes tonight, you can just kind of go look for the slides. There's some information in there you may want. Hopefully there's a lot you will be able to use to go to PETS. But I'm excited. I've been working on being district governor officially since 2017. My wife and I have been to 16 days of training, all the way from San Diego to Montgomery, Alabama to Fort Wayne. All of it has been very informational, and I'm looking forward to sharing what we can use in our district. It's an exciting time in Rotary. So here we go. You've been chosen to lead your club. You know that. That's why you're here. Your effort and passion are critical. And I want to emphasize that passion is a big part of that. We know you're underpaid and overworked, so welcome to Rotary. To meet my wife and I, Sue, we have been happily married 49 years, and she's been a big part of my Rotary career and will continue to do so. So we'll look forward to working with her for the coming year. And our distinguished speaker, Al Brothers, is with us tonight and has a few opening remarks. Al, take it away.
Well, thank you, John, and welcome. It's fantastic to have you all here tonight, and I appreciate nobody had to travel. Bringing out at least my portion of it from Leo United Methodist Church. I have a church meeting tonight that I'll be attending as well. But again, you're starting on a fantastic adventure. Pre-PETS is an opportunity to learn quite a bit about pets and what to expect. It provides you the tools and information so you can better understand your role at PETS and your role in your particular club. Pre-PETS set the stage for your successful year. And pre-PETS does, PETS in fact, it involves 5 different districts and 1 from Canada, 5, but it's an intensive learning process about your role and the role of the district and RI to support you. That's the key. Again, the district and RI are here to support you and your club. It's a chance at PETS to meet PEs not only from your district, but from the other 4 districts. Each district and each club has its own particular passion and bent. They also have their respective projects, whether they be local or global. And it's a chance for you to find out what projects work, what projects you might want to be involved with. But the key thing for you is the fellowship and your chance to get together with fellow PEs who during your year will be serving with you to support the district itself, support your club, and support your community. And that's what it's all about. It's a chance to exchange ideas from all 59 clubs. Again, you had a chance to dialogue on topics of interest together. And it's a chance for you to learn together. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I totally enjoyed my PETS experience. As a matter of fact, I was there twice. Apparently, I was a slow learner, and my club sent me back the second time. It really is. It's a fantastic opportunity. There's quite a bit of information provided to you. It truly is an energetic. You have fantastic speakers and fantastic opportunities to learn together. But I do want to recommend, above all, you meet all of your District 6540 counterparts and specifically learn their passions and their interests, because those who are closest to you might join with you in both in either district or global grant opportunities or just community activities. And always remember, again, when you seek ideas, seek them from those around you. Many have great ideas that you might be able to use within your own clubs. So again, I want to welcome you and say congratulations on being in this case, a president-elect, president soon to be. Enjoy this session and enjoy pets. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Al. Good words, good advice from an experienced leader. We appreciate your leadership, and we're going to continue some of the changes you made this year, and I congratulate you on those. All right. Distinguished Jane Roush, DGN, District Governor nominee. She is the one that is going to fix what I screw up this year. So I'm counting on her talent and her ability, and believe me, she has a lot. So Jane, you have a couple words?
I do. And first of all, I can say to them, I'm very happy to follow John and Al, because they've certainly put in place a lot of great things for us to continue to improve upon, but also to use as I move forward. I say hello to you from Viva La Mexico. I think one of the things that strikes me with everything that I do, and especially my time in Rotary, is I love learning. I love learning new things and meeting new people. When I was driving in the other day from the airport, one of the first things I saw when we stopped at a stoplight was the sign about Rotary International and where the local Rotary Club met in the Marina area. And so to me, that was just kind of that affirmation of the fact that we are part of such a large and powerful organization. And I think at PETS, that's what I say to you is you're going to learn so much more about more than just your local club, but about what's available globally and what we do. But first and foremost, be proud of who you are and what your club does. Learn from others, take from them one or two items that you might implement into your own club. I always look at whenever I go to a conference, if I can come back with one or two items that I say, you know, I'm going to really try these this year. They sound like a great idea, and just see what happens. But really open yourself up to other ideas, but also share what's happening in your club with others so that they can learn from you. And just celebrate the fact that we're part of a great organization that does so much both in our communities and globally. Thanks.
Thanks, Jane. All right. I'm not sure if Tim made it tonight. If he is, he'll respond. But Tim Gibson is the district governor nominee designate, and he is going to follow Jane. And just to share a little bit of how this governor thing works as of the last couple of years, and it's a lesson for clubs, is that we have worked together with the past couple district governors. We're adding Jane, we're adding Tim, we've worked with Dan Ryan, we've worked with Al. When we appoint someone to a committee or someone to be in a position of leadership, the other following governors are consulted, because a lot of the terms are 3 years, but I don't want to pick someone that we don't think will work with all three of us. So that's a good thing for your club too, to work with your past president. Don't forget your incoming president-elect, and make sure you include them in planning and activities this year. So your president nominee, yourself, and your president should be part of the team. Okay, Lee is going to have a chance a little bit later. Lee is going to speak briefly to us from where? Destin, Florida?
Right.
Okay. We'll hear his words of wisdom later on in the program. How was your golf game today?
You got rained out.
Okay, well, that's better than yesterday when you didn't play well.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, and our person that holds it all together, Chris, District Secretary. Chris, this is your chance to talk about communication.
They'll get tired of me saying that often enough, but I just want to say hi to everyone. I'm looking forward to working with you in your year. My role is primarily communication between everything and trying to keep all the ducks moving in a row. So look forward to working with you up at Kalamazoo.
All right, well, you're a talent that amazes me, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this experience. So we'll look forward to an exciting year. Okay, I think almost everyone can see this. Quickly quickly, I don't like to read PowerPoint slides, but quickly, every Rotary Club that succeeds begins to erect a bureaucracy around that success, because keeping success from going away is a basic need. When we, you, me, show up to offer some change ideas, understand that the status quo isn't the enemy of the bureaucracy, it is their entire reason for being. So be involved, be vocal, be vibrant. Cartoon kind of says it all. A lot of clubs keep waiting for change to happen. So if we don't change it all and something magical happens? Well, pretty much we know what that's going to end up like. I was at my granddaughter's basketball game in a school in northern Indiana, and I walked around in the hallway and I found this wonderful plaque with the Rotary emblem on it, and then they were giving away scholarships at that school. Very good thing to do. A lot of Rotary clubs do it, and I noticed they ended in 2007, and there was a man in the hallway, and I said, "What happened?" He said, "Well, they folded up. No more Rotary." Our governor or president-elect this year, he'll be serving the same terms that you and I serve. A very outgoing, friendly man from Germany. His wife, Suzanne, is even more so. They are very, I want to say, common folks, very cordial, very welcoming. Sue and I had the fortune of having dinner with them one night. They were walking around, and we said, "Join us," and they did. And very good conversation. So Thursday night, Holger will be in our session for 7 minutes. At least that's what was on the schedule. He will be the keynoter also on Thursday night. So if you get a chance, you want to go up and shake his hand and get acquainted. Holger is not just a emblem of leadership. He has ideas. He's asked us to create new innovative club models, which Rotary has already done. One of those I'll speak of just briefly in case you don't know. There are project clubs, which all the members in the club totally focus on one issue, whether that's clean water, the environment, literacy, but there are people with a passion. So there are clubs that start satellite clubs with people that are only interested in those areas. So it's an option we'll take a look at in Kalamazoo. We're going to take care of the next one already, because each club should have one strategic meeting to consider what your club will look like in 5 years. And I hope it's not the club mentioned on the plaque. And I hope you begin to look and see what that vision is going to look like. Holger is talking also about selecting new members carefully. Rotary is often tried to increase by numbers. What we need to increase by is quality, and by those people that have a fit in your club, and that will help your club be stronger. And you in turn need to include them and give them activities that is their passion. Holger also assures us there is no wrong age to become a Rotarian. And of course, he wants us to continue the World Polio Day effort in October. Our theme this year was announced to Loud Cheers in San Diego. I really like it. It says a lot about the opportunities and the doors we can open. So I'm excited that we can use that this year as the theme. Quickly, a little bit about me. I was an agriculture teacher for 37 years. Well, 27, director of education for 10. I ended up teaching entrepreneur classes, business, computer classes. I was in charge of technology. I wrote grants. I worked on teacher training. That was my career. Along with that, I now help a fellow Rotarian maintain about 40 classic farm tractors. I actually help a former student farm 1,000 acres, but nonetheless, my passion is in the upper right. I love to fish. I'll talk to you for hours about fishing. And my wonderful family is pictured below, even Zeke the Wonder Dog. However, this is really me, and some of you know that and will attest that those that hear not the music think the dancer is crazy. And I had a supervisor in school when I was director of education. About 6 months, called me in the office and here's a card, and that's exactly what it said. She said, I could not figure you out. But I tend to look at things, and I look at the things with the end in mind. When we look at a project, or we look at an activity, or we look at a thought, I look at what it's going to look like at the end. And I often try to envision where that train that we want to get on and ride is going to run off the tracks, and wonder how we can make it go straighter, faster, and get there quicker. So when you look at me, just realize there's kind of some crazy things maybe going on in my mind. That's my disclaimer. You've been warned. My goals this year, and you're going to work on your goals, hopefully you've already started. It's going to be the year of the club. And at the district conference in Monticello in 21, we are going to celebrate the club. You're going to be asked to nominate people from your club for awards to be recognized on the stage at that district conference. We have so many Rotarians that do so much in the club, and I think it's important that we recognize those members and those clubs, and I'm going to make a point to do that at district conference. The next thing is that I want to speak briefly about company is coming. What does that mean? Well, like Jane said, she saw the Rotary sign, but I've driven into towns and I saw Rotary signs that were probably as old as I was and faded. I have seen them in plantings that were not maintained. I've seen them on posts that were rotting. I've gone to club meeting rooms that are warm and welcoming and full of Rotary memorabilia or banners, and I've also gone to rooms that are bleak, stark. I want you to focus on youth in your community. They're the future. My passion happens to be 4-H and FFA, and if you think they're all rural, you all have FFA chapters and 4-H programs in your club area. They are good leadership models. I also am passionate about Interact, and you're going to see some exciting changes there. Rotaract is being pushed strongly by Rotary International. Other passions in your community could be scouts or school programs, leadership activities, community involvement. We have a zone membership plan that you're going to learn about, and that's going to take care of the visioning statement that Holger makes, because, and Lee is going to speak about that more, so I'll not take any more time. The next one is diversity, and diversity to me not only means your race or your sex, it also means your talent, your passion, and let's just make sure that we have an open, warm, welcoming club for everyone. I'm passionate about club organization and constitutions. I will tell you that we all have, every club has the same Rotary Constitution. Worldwide, 1.2, no, however many clubs there are, I don't remember. The bylaws are the places where you change and you make things that fit your club, like when you meet, when you, who's on your board, how you distribute maybe, I guess, committees and those kind of things. I want you to truthfully go look for your bylaws and bring them to PETS. I've done this for 2 or 3 years, and I've gotten several clubs to rewrite them. You won't need them until perchance you're investigated by the IRS because of something on your EN 990 or some other issue. And when you need them, it's too late to make them, because they ask to see if you have followed your bylaws and all the places you've spent money and things you've done. And I speak from that, from experience. If you want to know more, I will talk to you about a 3-day IRS audit over a lot of money. All right, the other one I have a passion for being district trainer, and this year we're excited because we actually have now 51 president-elects attending PETS. That's a record. We have one president-elect who's attending PETS in Illinois. But every club should have a president nominee in place since last December 1st. That's the Rotary Manual of Procedure that's in your constitution, and it's critical. And that saves the struggle of picking the same person you would have picked in December, a year and a half later in January. I am passionate about the Rotary. I belong to a club that's 100% Paul Harris. We have 2 in the district and 1 trying to obtain that. So you're going to hear me encourage donations, and we'll probably continue the receptions in 3 separate places. That's been successful, and I think right now we've raised about $77,000 for the points match. I encourage clubs to be involved in international projects. My passion, one of them, or the big one, is Heart to Heart, which is our Zone 3031 project of the Midwest, the Heart of America with the Heart of Mexico. If you would like to have a program about that, let me know. It's a very interesting. If you'd like to go to Mexico next November 4th, let me know. We'll get you signed up. Quickly. Tonight, you're going to get some of our contact information if you don't have it already. Chris is going to talk about Club Runner and Rotary Club Central and try to get as much out of that. Most of the time, it's going to be what about PETS? So here we go. PETS is going to be full of breakout sessions. There'll be 3 major breakout sessions with all the president-elects on Friday afternoon. Some of those will be led by people from our district. I think Jane Delgatti and Ann Gregory are going to work on the public information section, and I believe we have some people in the foundation section. You'll have training sessions that are our district only. You're going to see what that looks like here in a minute. That's where you're going to meet your fellow president-elects. You're going to exchange ideas. You're going to learn the ways to take action. And I think you're going to become enthused. You will receive a briefcase, and you're going to find out where you're going to get access. We used to get big binders full of papers. Well, now it's online and digital, and you can download it, print it, revise it, whatever. For those that know me, that will have fun while learning. We're going to make this a happy time. You're going to learn what's new in Rotary, and there is much. There's some great speakers coming, one from the United Nations and our connection with Rotary there. Our kickoff for our Thursday night speaker is Holger. The Friday morning speaker is Holly Seabury from Fort Wayne. She is a young female president with 4 children, responsible for a large foundation, and she has done an exceptionally strong job of being organized and getting her club active and working hard to make sure members are involved. She is going to be in our district session, so you'll have a chance to interact with her and get questions answered. I have currently, I think, about 115 questions. So right now we're going to pause so I can breathe, and Chris is going to unmute everybody. And if you have questions, please ask them.
Okay, everybody's unmuted, so. Or everybody will allow me to. And if you have any problems, feel free to type out any of your questions in the chat box.
Okay. If we're sure there's no questions, we'll move on. This was a question, as you know, I sent a list out to ask for your questions. Being a teacher, I found out that in going to a lot of professional development that it was a waste of time to go somewhere when everybody had this list of stuff they wanted to pour down our throats. So that's why I've asked what you want to learn there, and we've tailored our PET sessions to meet those. But one question that came up in an earlier webinar here. What to wear? Well, daily sessions at Rotary are Rotary casual. Slacks, polo shirt, etc. You can read it. I am not the fashion police for our district. I would be the last one you would want doing that. But please, no t-shirts, shorts, or jeans. Thursday evening dinner is business attire. Most people, a lot of people have a coat tie on. I guarantee you they won't throw you out a jacket and a polo shirt. Friday dinner is the same. Saturday morning for the closing session and the breakfast and noon lunches, and the food is very good. So you want to make sure that you get to the meals on time. But Saturday you'll be sworn in as presidents at the noon luncheon on Saturday. And there's an encouragement to continue to wear Rotary IDs so people know you're in Rotary and they can ask questions. The next one, what should I do when I get to Pets? Well, after an exciting drive to Kalamazoo, just park in the garage that's on the west side of the Radisson. You can drive in that garage as you come in from the west anyway. You drive into the garage and it'll be on the west side of Radisson. All parking, if you're staying at the Radisson in that building, will be free. You will gather your luggage and you can walk out of the parking garage, go down to about the second or third level. There's a crosswalk. So you can get to the hotel, and when you get to the hotel, you're one floor up from the registration desk. So you go downstairs and you pick whichever registration line is shorter. You'll have one to get your Rotary badge. Mark Cooper and his crew will be there. A lot of volunteers helping you get your materials. And the Radisson staff is amazing about getting you checked in. We rent the whole hotel except for the annual contracts they have with flight crews. So you will not see many strangers in anything except the bar, but there will be, most everybody is in Rotary. All right, Thursday when you arrive, the first thing you can do is President-elect and Assistant Governor photos. You will be required to have your picture taken. We need those for the district directory. You'll want those for publicity and things that you're doing, and they are free, no charge. At 3 o'clock to 4:30, there's a class called Rotary 101. And for those of you that are fairly new to Rotary, I would highly recommend this session. Chris Etienne is a very talented trainer and speaker. She does an excellent job in this session. A new session this year, if you're a returning president from 3 to 4:30, is Rotary 202. And a lot of times Rotary presidents have been president before, and they, well, I don't need to go to Pets. I went in, what, 1994. Well, believe me, it's changed since last year, and especially in the last 5 years. So it's a session that our own Floyd Lancia will be leading along with Kevin Dorland, and that's for those of you that have been presidents before. 5 o'clock, cash bar begins, reception outside the dining room. I will remind you that your name tags and badges are on loops around your neck, and your lunch tickets should be in the back. When you go into lunch, we collect those, because that's how we save money for you at Pets, because that way we only pay for the meals that are eaten. So you can feel good, I guess, if you want to skip a meal for some unknown reason, but that's money Rotary doesn't pay. Okay, this is what a district session looks like. This is in our meeting room. At this point, most everyone is intent on whatever's going on, and you will be seated at rows of tables, and you will be facing other people. When there's something on the slide screen, you will turn one half turn to whichever way you need to, but you still are not looking at the backs of all the other people. I find that very inhibiting, I guess, to conversation. And so this seems to work well. right, you'll have interaction, as Lee said, with other district, or Jane, with other district Rotary members. Approximately 300 other Rotarians from Michigan and Canada. Your official photo. Other thing you want to be prepared for are the Rotary vendors. And it's a good time for you to pick up some Rotary supplies. There'll be several vendors there. The main one in selling supplies will be Russell Hampton. So if you need badges, pins, you want to get shirts, you want to get scarves, ties, whatever, you should be prepared. You should also go back, you've been there to register for pets, but go to www.Great Lakes Rotary Pets, and there's a list of the speakers' bios on there. There's a list, that's where I stole the dress code. A lot of good information there, and I think it's something you want to take advantage of. There's a long list of frequently asked questions. We're going to see a focus on membership opportunities. You're going to see ideas at work, because those are questions that you sent to me. You're going to see ways to motivate your club members to actually work on the projects you have, and not let a few people do all the work in your club. You're going to learn that maybe have more enticing, effective meetings. And you're going to learn about the Rotary Foundation. This would probably be a luncheon meeting at Pat's, a round table. I see Lee is there. Notice no one's formally dressed, just time to share a conversation. And I want you to get acquainted on Thursday night with your fellow president-elect. So when you go in this room with 400 people, and you know, every table doesn't fill up evenly, but you can look for someone you met the night before or the day before at district, and maybe at least join one other person you know for lunch or breakfast. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, a little word from the foundation, but here at PETS, you're going to hear thought-provoking presenters. I believe that you will agree with all the ideas that you hear or think they'll work in your club. No, but it's like going to a very large buffet. You will not be able to eat everything, but you will be able to pick some things you really like. You're going to have a chance to engage with some district and zone leadership that you'll probably want to work with during your year. Share ideas, ask questions, active learning. You're going to have some work time where you got to come up with some ideas. You're going to create your plan of action. You saw my goals in the beginning. That's what I would think you would want to do for your club. You're going to learn the technology of Rotary and the answers to 100 questions you have submitted. You're going to practice log into Club Runner. You're actually going to practice that beforehand. I don't know if everybody knows what Rotary Action Groups are, but they're an exciting, fairly new thing. They are volunteer groups online. You work with a project. It could be about the environment. It could be about clean water. It could be about maternal health. It could be about specialized issues like autism and others. Beekeeping, the environment. A very, very interesting way to find out what else is going on in the world. Your current president, just received all the information about the Rotary insurance that covers your club, the liability, et cetera, and that is something that's important. You'll want to have that information. Another new thing is the Rotary Learning Center, and that is a new tool for you to help train or me. I've taken lots of courses there, but you can log on to rotary.org and go to the Learning Center and sign up for some classes about being club president, about how to have effective committees. You name it, it's there. You're going to work on goal setting, why and how. There's going to be a focus on that because you're not going to know where you're going if you don't have a goal. We're going to cover the new district bylaw for child services so that we have vetted people driving and working with students. You'll hear about RILA, you'll hear about Interact and Rotaract. You're going to have a good dose of public image and social media, both from the large breakout sessions, and those two people are also going to be in our session. Another little tip I recently learned is when you really want to enter and delete members, and it's not on June 30th or July 1st. So we'll find that out. Well, the last one here is the Rotary Citation. And that is an obscure thing that we have been promoting. Last year, we actually had 14 clubs achieve it. It recognizes the work your members do during the year because they don't get much credit for flipping pancakes and planting trees. But that's where Rotary takes and shares all the good you've done in your community or the world. So it's important. It's changed totally for our year. Hoger has a list of 25 items. Your club needs to complete 13 of them. If you're a baseball player, that gets you a raise because that'd be a little over 500% batting average. If you took a test in the school, it'd probably get you an F. So it doesn't take much to achieve the citation, and we're going to work on it together. Quickly, I've already mentioned Holder. You'll meet him. Valencia from Fort Wayne will be there. We'll have Dan Ryan, Zone 30, past district governor, and now he's the ARR Foundation coordinator. Bryce Adam from Indianapolis will be there. He's the ARC Assistant Rotary Coordinator, and he's the one that's going to be working with us on membership, and along with Carla, our membership chair. Judy Walker will be there with the foundation. Missy Hoteling from Boswell will be there with the Paul Harris Society. Ann Gregory will be there as the social media chair. Carla Herr, district membership chair. Lee will be there as the assistant governor coordinator. And Jane Delegati, our PR and public information chair. Those of you that ask a lot of questions about how we better publicize our events in the community will want to meet Jane and work with her. She will assist you. She is a professional PR person. That was her career. So she's very talented. Okay, Chris.
Okay, everyone should be unmuted.
Please, a question?
Gina says no questions from her.
I'm good.
Hey,
We do have Jane with us tonight. I thought I'd mention that real quick.
you say we have who with us?
Jane Delegati is here with us tonight.
Oh, yeah, Jane? That's great. And I said all those nice things about you. All right, here we go. Next on stage is Lee Crow from the Monticello Rotary Club. He is an AG coordinator with outstanding talent. He's also an AG. We do have 17 AGs. He's one of them. That's the number we're going to have. They're in place. So he's going to talk to you a little bit about AGs, which are often underutilized by our clubs. Al or Lee?
Thank you, John. I'm an old college professor that ended my career before webinars, so I hope I don't screw this up. Did a lot of seminars, but no webinars. I want to congratulate you all on your election to serve as president of your club. I know that most of you are probably fairly anxious about the job, but I'll tell you that this meeting and pets will really allay your fears, and you'll be there drinking the Rotary Kool-Aid, and you'll come out of that very knowledgeable and ready to go. John said, I am the Assistant Governor Coordinator. I work with the AGs. I'm Assistant Governor to 4 clubs. The AGs, as they're called, are some key people that you'll be able to lean on for assistance in the year ahead. They'll also become an important line of contact with the Governor and Rotary District 6540 for you. Who are the assistant governors? Well, you might say that the AGs are the visiting nurses of District 6540. Nobody challenged me on that in the last 3 or 4 nights we've been doing this, but I think it fits pretty well. They're tasked with offering help and advice to club presidents. That's why I call them visiting nurses. For 2021, we'll actually have 18 assistant governors. We have 17 right now. They're appointed by the governor and serve 3-year terms. All AGs are successful past club presidents. They have walked in your shoes, so they know what they're talking about. Each AG is assigned up to 4 clubs to work with. These AGs are asked to personally visit their assigned clubs at least once every 6 weeks. More frequent contact by phone or email is also encouraged. The AG may also be interested in attending one of your club board meetings now and then. In regard to the AG club visits, the AG is asked to contact you well ahead of the day that he or she wants to visit your club. The AG should not drop in cold on a club meeting. When I contact the club presidents, I usually say, would it be convenient for me to visit your club on X date to say a few words about something? I won't need more than a few minutes. Most of the time, the response from the president is, sure, you're very welcome. But if the president says that the program scheduled for that day needs to use the whole allotted meeting time, or says, I'm sorry, we're not meeting that day, the AG should graciously request an alternative date. When visiting their clubs, the AGs are, of course, supposed to pay for their own meals. Our AGs also are encouraged to take part in club service projects, fundraising events, and other club events as invited by the clubs they work with, and as the AG's time allows. When an AG visits your club meetings, the AG should always be recognized by the president, whoever is chairing the meeting, with the AG's proper title and home club origin. If the AG asks for time on the club program schedule to pass on information about upcoming district events, initiatives, requests of the district governor, or other opportunities, please grant them the time. But the AG's visit should not interfere with your scheduled club's program that day or its normal rituals. Most of you will meet your AG at PETS or have already met them during previous club visits to your club. While you're at PETS, try to schedule at least the first meeting for the AG to visit in July or early August. At or before PETS, you will also receive a copy of District Governor John Frisch's club visitation schedule that I understand he just finished. So we're getting close to that. So you can mark that visit for your club on your calendar. And I'll talk more about the district governor visits in a little bit. One important point, Rotary does not function like a military or corporate organization. We're all volunteers. We're dedicated to service and volunteerism. The AGs know that they cannot order a club president to do anything. They cannot fire you. This sometimes put the AG in a very delicate position vis-a-vis the requests of their district governor for information and gaining club compliance with the governor's request. However, when clubs fail to respond to such requests, you will find that the AGs can be very persistent. They become very adept at pestering, badgering, even whining, or will point out to a club president the consequences or ramifications of not following up on a reasonable request by the AG and the governor. Please practice common courtesy and try to work with your AG in a friendly and expeditious fashion. The AG has a job to do for the governor, just like you will have with your club members. The AG's time is also precious, as is yours. If you can't comply with a request in a reasonable length of time, please acknowledge receipt of the request or information with an "I got it," and why and when you will be able to answer the query. Next is what the AG job description looks like. What do AGs do? Well, first, like John Frischie, one of our district governors, comes to office with an agenda and goals. It is the job of the assistant governor to assist the governor in meeting their goals. You've heard those goals from John tonight. The AGs represent the district governor to the clubs. They pass on information and requests from the governor to the clubs. The AGs keep the governor informed about the status and well-being of the clubs they work with, which clubs are doing well, which are having trouble or encountering particular problems. The AG also passes on suggestions from clubs to the governor for bettering district services and activities. At the midpoint of the Rotary year, and again at the end of the year, the AGs submit written evaluations of each of their clubs to the governor. The evaluations assess the club's strengths, weaknesses, problems, and accomplishments. Expect that your AG will be in contact in November and again in May, making sure they have the information about your club activities, service projects, and fundraisers in order for them to compile their reports. They will also discuss their evaluations of your club with you. The club president should periodically monitor the club's performance against the goals they have set for Rotary Club Central. The AGs also have access to your numbers via Rotary Club Central. What the AG also does is pass on information to the clubs about district sponsors events like district conferences, special training seminars, and district fundraising activities. Additionally, the district officers are always looking for new district leaders from the ranks of the club presidents. We have found that assistant governors are the best sources for helping the district find new members for the many district committee chairs, governors, assistant governors, and district conference leaders openings that occur each year. This, of course, after you have completed or the presidents have completed their service with their clubs. Now, how can the AGs help you in your jobs as president of your club? The answer is simple. You should expect the AG to be your go-to person to help you with problems and be there for you to answer your questions. Remember that your AG, as an ex-club president, they're knowledgeable about Rotary and probably have had to work through a lot of sticky situations and problems with their own clubs. They are also up on the latest changes and ideas from Rotary International. They know who to go to if you have a problem the AG can't answer. Your AG is very acquainted with the ways to increase membership and engage new and present members. They can help you with ideas for recruiting and retaining members. By now, you should know that Rotary in the US has a continuing problem with flat membership numbers. Assisting clubs in gaining membership has become a top goal with RI. Thus, the reason on last year's list of Rotary Citation. I know there's a new one this year. It started with appoint an active membership committee, and second, achieve a net gain in membership. I'm sure it'll be up near the top of the list for this year's goals for the Rotary Citation. In the fall, the district was approached about embarking on a new zone membership initiative to increase club membership in all clubs in our district. Bryce Adams is the one who brought that to us, and he is working in that capacity again for the zone. In the fall, the district was approached about embarking on a new zone membership initiative to increase club membership in all clubs in our district. Al Brothers, our present DG, asked that all district clubs participate in this new membership initiative. In August, a training session was held for our AGs, several district committee chairs, and our future 3 district governors to develop them as facilitators for the new initiative. The new initiative concept is quite simple. It divides the membership problem into 2 parts: attraction of new members and engagement or retention of present and new members. It offers 12 of the proven best ways to attract new members and 12 ways to engage new and present members to keep them in the fold. These are ways that have proven workable and a great help to a lot of clubs. The clubs designate a committee to lead the initiative in their club. The committee has one meeting with the facilitator to discuss the ideas at that meeting. They select 3 ideas from each list and compile 6 one-page action plans to put the chosen initiative ideas into motion. The whole process and meeting with the facilitator can be done in 2 hours or less in the location where your club meets, or a restaurant or something like that. If your club has not yet become involved in a program, please put it on your to-do list for next year. The main contact for the initiative is your AG, who will gladly act as facilitator. Our district membership committee chair, Carla Herr, is also a trained facilitator, and she would be glad to talk to you about it. Another way the AG can help you is with assistance in finding funding for service projects you might want to undertake, but don't have the money to do so as a lone club. Talk to the AG about district grants, global grants, or the possibility of partnering with a neighboring Rotary Club on a project. Because they are in close contact with 3 or 4 other clubs, the AGs are in a position to recommend to you the practices, fundraising ideas, and service ideas that are working in the 3 other clubs they serve. The AG can be the go-between for clubs that want to partner up with other clubs on funding and participation for international projects that are too big for one club to handle, even with a district grant. 3 of the clubs I serve just finished a joint project in Honduras. Right now, I am discussing adding a 4th club partner to the mix on another Honduras project for next year. Finally, I want to end with a word about the governor's annual visit to your club. This is one of the musts that the governor has to do. Visit every club in the district at least once during their year in office. It's a mind-boggling idea. Generally, the meeting with your club needs to go like this. Once the date is confirmed, it should be entered into the club calendar. 1 or 2 weeks before the visit, the club members and club board should be reminded of the visit and urged to attend. For luncheon clubs, the governor usually meets with the club board of directors 1 hour before the club meeting. It's an informal meeting where the governor may ask questions about the club, make some suggestions, and lay out some of his goals for the year. But do not try to transact board business at this meeting. It should not be try to do both things at that one meeting. The board members may also ask questions and make suggestions to the governor. He will need about 35 to 40 minutes with the board before lunch. The governor will then meet with the club members after lunch. Again, allow 35 to 40 minutes for this meeting also. First, you should go through your normal rituals, announcements, sergeant's times, etc. Then introduce the assistant governor, who will be introducing the governor. please understand that the governor is the program for that day. No other programming or outside speakers should be brought in or have other programs. So I guess that's it for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all at PETS. Are there any questions?
I've got everybody unmuted at this point, so
Guess what? Our power just went out here. Am I still with you?
we've still got you, Lee.
Okay.
You're kind of glowing in the dark, though.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Lee. That's very thorough, and I appreciate the comments. We'll be working on the visit schedule, and they'll be a little different than they've been in the past. They probably will not involve much technology, and they'll involve quite a bit of communication. So that's where we are. Okay. Chris, it's your turn.
Hi, everybody. As stated before, I'm the district secretary. I'm the person who has been giving you what seems like a massive amount of emails, and over a year, it'll be quite a bit more. My role is basically communications. I enable communications between the clubs, the district, RI, try and keep everything as organized as we can. My background is primarily in communications and technology, so I'm kind of the go-to guy when you've got tech questions. One of the fun things is I've been able to help a lot of the clubs with some of the AV needs. I think that's kind of neat. We're just going to skim through some things. We're going to go in a much greater detail with everything that we talked about here up in Kalamazoo, but we want to make sure that we're starting off on the right foot. Now, a few of the things that every club executive really needs to know is how to update membership info, what all is required, why we need it, how to update the club officer assignments, because the last thing that any of us want to do is try and, go back and forth trying to find, say, the foundation chair, your RILA chair, or any of the other chairs from the district officers to try and get the right information to the right people. Because if we don't have that information, it all has to go through the presidents. Because your contact information, at least we have. Updating the club info, we've had clubs that have changed venues, and making sure that we have the right information is really important. For visiting or returns to be able to find your meetings, for prospective members to find your meetings, and of course for the governor. Paying dues, there's 2 or 3 things that we really have to keep in mind with that. The dues are biannual. They come out in January and July. We have to make sure that the member info is updated by the correct dates. That way the charges are correct. RA has 1.22 million members, so trying to keep our information that way they're generating the correct bills is really important. Donations to the foundation have really changed in the last few years, and making sure that the club members are getting the donations put through correctly and that everything is credited to the correct account is a lot of work, quite honestly. The Rotary Club Central planning info, Rotary clubs do a lot of great work in their communities, and by putting that information in the Rotary Club Central, we're really able to leverage it. It's one of the reasons that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and other partners for Rotary are really participating with a lot of our projects. And the various reports that we have access to on Rotary.org and through Club Runner really tie everything together. It's a lot of work to get all this stuff in, but honestly, there's a lot of benefits to it. For those of you that have different club membership models, that have had corporate members, for those clubs that either have satellite clubs or are looking at satellite clubs, keeping all that straight is important. As we go through, there's multiple levels to data when you're talking about Rotary. There's the there's really 3 tiers of information. There's multiple places we can do multiple things, but the data flows in certain ways. A lot of the clubs have their individual club runner instances, not all clubs, but many. In fact, I'd say most. Then there's the district club runner page. Now, every Rotarian in the district automatically has an account there. Whether or not it ever gets used, it's automatically set up once they actually become a member of the district. And then there's Rotary.org. Now, as we're going through and updating this information, as you can see, you're best off updating certain information at the club level, and then it flows to the district and RI. There's other information that you have to do at different levels. Putting in the goals, putting in the planning information has to be done at Rotary.org. There's no way to do it in Club Runner and have it flow over. But we'll get into a lot more depth of that. Now, when you're getting to our website, which is www.rotary6540.org, there's a lot of really good information in there. There's specific things for being able to contact people, for being able to find different things. There's a lot more on Rotary.org. And Rotary Club Central has a lot of very specific things for officers that really make the difference between being able to keep all the various programs that we have straight and getting everything completed correctly. For those of you that may not have already gone to the district website, this is what it looks like. When you go to www.rotary6540.org, this is what you'll see. The district event calendar for things like the governor's visits, webinars like the one tonight for the foundation, grants, any of the club information we can put up there, that'll all be under the calendar. The governor tab there has the governor and all those in the governor lineups, bios, the e-directory. Now, this is something that was a big change this year under Governor Al, and we went paperless. So instead of printing out the thick books and doing all the mailings and everything else, it's right here on the website to be able to find any of the district officers, any of the club officers, such as other club president-elects, phone numbers, email addresses. You do have to log into Club Runner before you can have access to it. But the nice thing about it is, in today's age, it's not unusual for people's email addresses or phone numbers to change. By doing this electronically, I update this on an ongoing basis. So it has the most accurate information that we have as we have it. The district links are really a nice resource. Everything's kind of centralized. As John was talking about earlier, we've kind of gone paperless with everything we can. For the manuals and different resources, those are all available by going to the district links. In fact, when you click on the district links, it pops up this submenu. The district files is the important resource there. That's where we have all the manuals and everything. The district Facebook page is a great resource. The district social media committee, run by Ann Gregory, posts a lot of information there, a lot of stuff specific to our district or specific to clubs in our district. For any of you that have clubs that want to share an event with the rest of the Rotarians in the district or reach a broader audience, they're great about reposting stuff. There's things there about the Hawaiian convention coming up and everything else. The district YouTube channel has all the training. As John was saying before, these sessions are recorded. When we post them, they'll all be on the district YouTube channel. That way they can be reviewed later. The Zone 30 link is our zone here in the middle of the US, Zone 30 and 31, heart of America. They do all kinds of very specific training. The membership information that was being discussed earlier, all the resources for that program are on the website. They do their own webinars. They have some great information that they put out, and they're an invaluable resource to us. Great Lakes Rotary Pets. Now, hopefully at this point, everyone's gone to that website, but the link is there. That way, if you do forget, because it is a rather long website, you can go to it straight from our page. The nice thing is, as they put the schedules up there and everything else, there's a lot of information about the speakers. They also have, as you go up to Kalamazoo, they have videos of some of the keynote speakers and everything. So if you want to bring that information back to your clubs, it's a great resource. Now, as you go to the district files links, this would be the page you see. There's different videos. There's a new folder up there that was just started for your year as president-elects. There's PowerPoints and PDFs and everything else that we talk about when we say we were putting it out there for you to be able to access. This is where you'd be going to it. Now, the key to all this information is having the correct contact information for you, the president-elects. Everything ties through your email address. Club Runner logins are not necessarily your email address. Some of the older ones, they were automatically generated. Well, you can still reset your password if you can't log in via your email address. It's really important that you get into, if you have an individual Club Runner instance, to log into that before you go to Kalamazoo, or the district Club Runner instance before you go up. That way, if there's any problems, you can either contact myself or your club secretary. That way we can make sure your logins are correct before we start the serious work up there. Now, the information for Club Runner and Rotary.org is different. So the login for one and the passwords for one are not necessarily the logins and password for the other. But as long as your email address is correct, you can follow the steps that we're going to outline in just a second to recover that information. One of the big questions we get every year is, how much does it cost to be a Rotarian? Now, these are the base dues that Rotary charges. There are two different amounts based on when the billing is. The July billing, which is the start of the Rotary year, includes insurance that's only billed then, that's not billed later on. The Rotarian magazine is billed at both times, and then the actual base dues are billed both times. There's also the insurance that are specific to the officers that covers the liability that you as a club officer would have for conducting normal and customary club business. As we go through, when you are logging into set the club officers and set the club goals, it's important to remember that as we progress through your year, you do have to update it as things are completed. So if you mark a goal for, or if you put in a goal of having a project, make sure to mark when it's done. Make sure to record the number of man hours or the labor involved. It's important that we leverage all the good that we're doing in the world to benefit Rotary as much as we can. One of the great tools on Rotary.org is actually the Brand Center. For any of you that are taking photos of the projects you're doing or doing things on social media, there's a great resource on there that will automatically put all the things for like the People of Action campaign, logos, and everything else. So you don't need a graphics designer to go through and do a lot of these things to give us consistent branding. The one downside to the Rotary.org site is the search function isn't the greatest. As many of us that have been using it for quite a while can attest, a lot of times you're better off going to Google, putting in Rotary.org space what you're looking for, and it will often get you much better results than actually using the search bar on the Rotary website. If you go through to try and log into the systems and find you can't, the steps outlined on the slide for either Club Runner itself or My Rotary are really easy to follow to recover your password and your login information. But that's where it's critical that we have those correct email addresses. In fact, we'll talk more about this up at Kalamazoo, but as you do the annual club business meetings, it's not the worst idea in the world to go through and print off a list of everybody's contact information just to have them check it off. We'll go into more detail about a couple easy ways to do that when we get up for pets. In the modern age, social media is a big part of everything. It seems like you can't turn left without turning into Facebook. If you personally, as the president-elect of your club, don't have access to the social media accounts for your club, I highly recommend getting it set up so you do have access. No one likes to really plan for it, but you have to think, what happens tomorrow if somebody gets hit by a bus? I have a lot of paper backup plans just for that. That way, if heaven forbid I get hit by a bus, John or whoever has to follow me up can figure out where everything is and how it works. Communication cannot be overstated enough. As you're going through and using social media or using your websites, keeping the membership informed and keeping everybody on the same page is just critical. We've had different clubs that have adapted to texting, and they text their members, for instance, a fifth Thursday meeting that's not at the regular club location. Hey, here's a reminder. If you're using that, that's a great tool, but a lot of times you have to get certain things set up. Again, make sure you have passwords, talk to your current presidents, and make sure that anyone, the sergeants or the secretaries that are involved, that you at least have a basic understanding of where, when, and why. Some of the clubs have really started using slides at the beginning of their meetings. We'll go over some really easy ways to do that up at Kalamazoo, and that's a great way to keep everyone informed and on the same page. If you go through and have any questions, as I said before, my role in the district is really communication. I mean, yes, you do get dues from me and everything else, but if you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to email me, feel free to call me. As John and a lot of the officers will tell you, I'm pretty much tied to my phone 24/7, and I'm usually pretty good about returning a phone call pretty quick. Text, email, send up a smoke signal, and if there's anything I can do to help, I'll reach out as quick as I can.
Okay.
Did anyone have any questions or anything, or I've got everybody unmuted at this point? Lee Morris asked if there will be a training session for AGs. We did a training session earlier in the year. And in fact, that training session is available by video. Catch me after the meeting and I'll do some one-on-one with you and we'll get you the video.
Chris,
Yes.
there is an AG session at PETS for those people that are serving for Sergeant at Arms. And Teresa Brandel will set that up when the program, we're having a PETS meeting. Well, it's going on right now probably, but when I get there, I'll make sure that I find out when they're going to send that out to you. It will be on the same time frame as the Rotary 101 and the Rotary 202. I can also say there is a Rotary Leadership Institute there, which we have 5 president nominees going. The problem is that it eliminates them from going to our district sessions. So yes, Lee, there's going to be a session there early Thursday afternoon for AGs. Any other questions?
We haven't got anything else in the chat, so.
All right. Well, I think they're, would you give me back, can I get my screen back? There we go. All right, I just want to close off tonight by saying thank you. There's a lot of information in a little bit of time. And again, my goal is, and you've noticed, I ask you to respond when I send an email, and I appreciate that. I can't make you do anything, but I can at least know you've got it and you've had the opportunity. So please remember, some of you still have goal sheets. I will require you all to fill one of those out in Kalamazoo if I don't have them ahead of time. You can change your foundation and membership goals. You can modify, you can still add more questions. I think pretty much everything I've seen is covered. We'll work really hard to get those worked into the sessions, and we'll try to make sure that you leave PETS enthused, you leave PETS excited, and that you leave PETS with some ideas you want to take back to your club. We've answered most of the questions about what happens at PETS. If you have more, let me know, and we'll create answers for those too. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, then I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. We were supposed to run until 7:30 my time, and we're not going to be able to do that. So gosh darn it. I never missed a meeting. I never had a meeting I didn't want to miss or leave early. So you're in luck tonight. We'll be in touch. Keep up the good work, and we'll look for an exciting year.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, all.
Good night.